probably, so I'd say 0 times average in a week. But I do go every once in a while when I need help on research and I can't find anything else online.
I don't really go to the library that often. If I do go to the library, it's usually because I like reserved books and stuff.
I try not to, especially because when we check out books, or when we do research, it's not really a couple weeks before, it's kind of the last week or so.
Mm-hmm.
But so I usually use the internet, and I find that it's a lot quicker, and I like to use articles on the internet a lot more.
I like to use books just because I think it's good to at least have one when you're doing research. But generally, I'll use online sources or access sources using online databases.
I've gone to the librarian before, and she was helpful, and it was good because I couldn't find anything else, and she was able to kind of narrow down what I needed, how I needed to search, and what I was looking for, and that was a good resource. But on average, I usually just try and look up the information myself.
Yeah, I think for one thing, we realize that students and even faculty, of course, want to do more work on their own now, and they're able to do it because of the internet and the World Wide Web, and that's fine. But often, especially if they're doing a major paper, they realize they need help in navigating the web and navigating the databases. So the librarians, although we still point to things, we're seeing more and more of our role as being a guide to what's out there. And as well as helping how to use different databases.
I haven't used one in a really long time, if I ever have. Basically, I think it's just the flipping through to find the books that you want. I don't think anybody even uses that anymore. It's all on computer now.
You should remember, or should know, that I started in college 45 years ago. So that was in the days of the card catalog. And so you go to the card catalog, look under author, title, or subject, find a book that you wanted, you go to the stacks and find it, and then you often find other things on the shelves. But we also use journal articles like you do today to write papers and so on, but in those days it was all manual. So
I have rented books from the library. I've used books for like research papers and stuff.
When I was in college, most of the research databases that today we have online access to were available on CD-ROMs.
Say 15 years ago when the web came along, we began to gradually see more and more databases move from CD-ROM to the web. And at that point, the librarians became more comfortable with letting our users do the work on their own.
Mainly, I use just the research, the articles, databases and stuff like that, and then I usually use programs, Word, Microsoft Excel, OneNote.
Sadly, the first thing I do is usually Google the question that I'm researching just to see like the general things that come up and get an idea of where else I can look.
The technologies that existed when I was studying library science are largely still the same ones that we're using. What I could say has happened in the last 10 years is that they've gotten a lot better.
So that's, of course, I think it's made, on the one hand, made research a lot easier because it's faster and you have more things right at your fingertips. We have like 400 databases now on our website, which is pretty amazing. On the other hand, this also can result in information overload. Too many responses. Just like when you search something on Google and you get 50,000 hits, well, it can be similar on a database.
I still think the resources can be really confusing, and it just gets really difficult to find sources that are accurate and reliable. When you use Google, it actually gives you stuff that pertains to the question. When I've used Pegasus, I don't know if I'm just really bad at typing in good questions or whatever. The stuff that comes up seems to be a lot more random. Like, you really have to filter through it.
I think today's students and faculty have a tremendous advantage over my generation in having these wonderful electronic tools at their fingertips to do research.